Yo, 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 what is up, guys? What is up? Alright, guys, let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. I hope that is the case, and we're gonna get everything started. Let me know if the background music is not too loud as well. Everything should be good, but obviously always good to let me know, guys. Let me know if the background music is not... Okay, guys, can you hear me loud and clear? Let me know in the chat. Let me know if the background music is not too loud as well. I hope that's not the case. Loud and clear. Okay, fantastic. Music is good as well. Okay, fantastic. Yeah, guys, so again, I'm improvising. I'm here in Brazil. Still here. I'm at my family's house in Sao Paulo. So I have the vlog camera with me as well, by the way. So there is going to be a vlog as well of what it is to be like a trader trading from South America. Obviously, the the time is here, or the time zone is not very convenient, being 4 hours behind what I'm usually at. So for myself, it's a little bit hard to keep track. Every morning I have to wake up at 4 a.m. To see what the markets are doing. But obviously, I guess that's part of the game as well. And a lot of people who are in Australia have the same. They have to stay up until very late. But I have to stay up until, or I have to wake up at very early. Because obviously I always need to be there for the London Open, also to record the daily market outlook as well. So if everybody can hear me loud and clear, we're gonna dive in. Fabio, do you speak Portuguese? Yes, I do speak Portuguese, Brazilian Portuguese. Not fluently, but I can you know, move my, or make myself clear enough when I'm here. So obviously here in Brazil, nobody speaks English at all. So it's really, if you don't know any Portuguese, it's pretty hard to get around here. I guess some of you have probably got the same in your countries, although I must say in Asia everybody speaks English somehow, but here in South America English is still not a very well-spoken language. Even in Africa, when I was in Africa, everybody was speaking English as well. But is waking up early more difficult or staying awake late? I think personally that waking up early is a lot more difficult, because it doesn't matter at what time you wake up. At the end of the day, you'll always kind of like have enough energy just to stay awake. But regardless, what we're gonna do is eu sou do Brazil. Incredible, nice job. Okay, guys, now obviously, as we always start off with, let me know where you're from, tuning in from today. Super curious to hear where everybody's based and where you're tuning in from all across the world. And then we'll dive in after that. No weather telling today. Yeah, I'm gonna try and at the end of the stream get my camera here outside of the window so I can show you where I'm streaming from. But I'm literally in the middle of the city center of Sao Paulo. So yeah, Sao Paulo is a massive city. I think it has 6 or like 18 or 20 million residents. So it's really, really big. But regardless, guys, where's everybody tuning in from today? And then we're just going to dive in and obviously give you guys a market update. Everybody has had their time to tune in. We have 425 people watching. So as always, guys, really appreciate it if you could just leave a like on the stream. That's always just means so much. A lot of time and energy goes into these streams, yeah, just breaking down the markets. And yeah, obviously I enjoy doing this because there's nothing better than also receiving your guys' feedback, your guys' opinion on what I'm talking about. So today we're going to do it a little bit differently. We're going to go over a few pairs, and then I just want to hear everybody in the chat. Are you looking for a long? Are you looking for a short? And yeah, what your opinion is on the setup itself. As always, guys, I've attached a link to the Discord in the chat here of the stream. So if you want to join, yeah, make sure to do so. It's completely free. We share a lot of value in there with the entire team. We have an amazing team that share market updates every single day, explaining what they see in the markets, what their kind of like vision is, and what pairs they're trading. So I've pinned it in the chat here. Yeah, so you can just join, so make sure to do so. And then without further ado, let's just dive in. So obviously we just had news, and I'm just going to give you guys a general update of what I see here on euro USD, and then we're going to dive into the other pairs because euro dollar has had news just now. If we look here, what can we see? I had Forex Factory open for myself. Let's just have a quick look at the calendar. So we have unemployment claims that came in better. So unemployment seems to have dropped from 224 to 207, at least the claims. But the GDP, whoa, okay, GDP is pretty off, man. GDP is pretty off. So here you can see advance in GDP. So this is the annualized change in the inflation adjusted value of all goods and services produced by the economy. So this is what it measures. And then this is really good about Forex Factory. It just straight away says, okay, so actual is greater than the forecast, is going to be good for currency. Obviously, guys, the GDP measures the total value of all goods and services in an economy. So then obviously if it's higher, it's going to be better. If it's lower, it's going to be worse. As you can see, it's quite a lot lower than it was actually forecasted even, because the previous was 3.1% growth. They forecasted 2.7% growth, but the growth is even less than that. It's 2.3%. So not ideal at all. So yeah, seeing the economy, or the US economy, decrease in growth is obviously not good for the dollar, which is bearish for the dollar. These unemployment claims, I think, are these the ones that come out every Friday? Let's see, January. Yeah, these come out weekly. So this doesn't really have a very heavy effect. Obviously, it's a red folder news, but you can see here January 23rd, January 16th, January 8th. So these employment claims or unemployment claims, they come every single week, whilst this advanced GDP growth quarter on quarter comes only out every single quarter, meaning it only comes out every single 3 months, which in my opinion is a lot heavier than obviously these unemployment claims. So therefore, with this being bearish, this being bullish, the news in my opinion is just more bearish than bullish. So let's have a look at what happens over there. I'm going to go into the charts. I know you guys are not maybe too interested in in what's going on there on the fundamental side of things. Let's see, what was the euro news that we have here? So we have ECB interest rate decision forecasted is the same as the actual as well, so not very heavy. Okay, so overall the dollar news is bearish. That's why we're currently seeing EU push up a bit. We can see the dollar is starting to push down, I assume, but it was also met with a bullish candle on the 4 hours before that. So let's see if we can kindly get some volume, or finally get some volume into the markets, because as we can see now, the market is just consolidating within this overall box that we have here. So yeah, the market is stuck currently on the dollar. What I'm waiting for now is for the market to start breaking in towards the downside. Guys, I do not trade support and resistance, but again, let me just clean up the chart here. You can very clearly see that we have a key level of support and resistance over here, right? It is very obvious that this was support, this was resistance, this is now support, this is now support. So we need to break through this level and we need to start filling up this gap. Obviously, from a daily perspective, guys, from a daily perspective, we are still in we're still in daily supply. So what do I mean with the daily supply zone? I mean this over here. This is currently the supply zone that is in control and that is pushing the market down lower. Yes, we did previously react to this area of demand, but then what I'm personally looking at, and why is this, by the way, a demand zone, guys? This is a sell before a buy up that broke market structure, and here we had a buy up for a sell down that broke market structure here in towards the downside. So what I need is alignment. What we can currently see though is that the fractal structure is bearish. So the fractal structure is the structure of the individual candlesticks. This is currently the high, this is currently the low. We've made a sizable retracement back up into the premium of this overall little fractal range that we have over here. This is pretty much also like your 4-hour structure. As you can see, we've retraced above the 0.5 fib. So now I'm looking for that next push in towards the downside on the dollar, okay? So the dollar, I just look at the daily, I see real quick, okay, supply zone is in control, and the fractal structure, again, the most immediate structure for a form of immediate structure that we have, is bearish as well in towards the downside. And as long as this black line over here holds, I am still interested in further downside from the dollar. So this is all I'm going to do on the dollar. I'm not going to dive into the lower time frame. You guys understand what we see there. Then when I look at euro USD, what are your opinions, guys? Personally, I am not interested in shorting EU at current levels, but I want to hear your guys' opinion on that. Yeah, we're going to dive into 1 hour and a 30-minute as well for you all. But what is your take on EU, guys? What is everybody looking at? Is everybody long or short on euro dollar? Let me know. Let's see what everybody's opinion is on that. Because personally, I see more euro USD longs, which have the potential to play out. Personally, not a big fan of shorts. But yeah, very curious to hear what everybody's looking at, because again, everybody can have a different opinion. Maybe some of you are saying lower time frame shorts, but I see, okay, so I see Stan is saying long, I see Max is saying 4-hour FTB first. Do you family trade over in Brazil too, Fabio? Yeah, my father is also a trader. He trades Euro bonds, so bonds, like the bonds market in Euro bonds. So this is like all the bonds that are not part of the United States. He mainly focuses on Middle East and South America, as these are high yield bonds. Okay, so I see longs. Okay, so I see pretty much everybody's also interested in looking for potential longs. I see Ibrahim is looking to short. I see Quotes and Trading Psychology is also looking to short. I'm very curious to hear what you guys are, or what your opinion is on your USD shorts. Yeah, I think Lagarde is still gonna speak. We still have the speech, right? The Euro speech. Wow, this is a long list. So we have the ECB press conference, which is starting right now. So that is gonna, if I'm correct, guys, please correct me if I'm wrong. I am like literally, I have my iPad as my OBS or from where I'm streaming, and I have my laptop and I have my mobile phone where I'm reading the chat. So it's kind of different than obviously from my usual setup. So please apologies for any inaccuracies in my statements. But I think we have the ECB press conference right now. But the speech is indeed coming now. Let's see. Should be in here. Thursday, ECB press conference, 10:45. Yeah, so okay. So the press conference is starting right now. So that should bring a lot of volatility into the market. It's pretty much the same as what we had yesterday, where Powell was also speaking on the press conference. So let's see what she has to say. She's going to be talking, I think, for the next 45 minutes or so. But for myself personally, what I am looking at, guys, from just purely a technical perspective, because thank you everybody for sharing your opinions on what you're looking at. But what I personally see here on EUR USD is, first of all, the weekly time frame. Okay, so the weekly time frame still has potential to push up higher. If we just, again, I just like cleaning up the charts for you guys and just doing it step by step. So here from a weekly perspective, this is the swing down. So we have an overall bearish swing down. And then we have a liquidity high here on the weekly time frame above this high. This is my so-called little bump in the road, above which I expect there to be liquidity. And then right above that as well, we also have an area of weekly supply. Okay, so this is a weekly buy before the sell. This candlestick over here, where preferably I would like to see a pullback in towards. However, as you guys know, we don't always need to see a pullback in towards, let's say, the 0.5 or the 618 fib. And this, by the way, guys, this analysis can be done on any single time frame. I see somebody asking about the 30 minutes and the 1 hour. Guys, please do not spam the chat. There's really no need to do so. But this does also work exactly the same on the 30 minute or the 1 hour. And what I see here, guys, is that we have gotten a weekly fractal break, okay? So this here is your weekly fractal high, which broke this fractal low. And if the market was really genuinely that bearish, it should have already pushed down, in my personal opinion. Okay, so this was previously the area of supply. You can see with this candlestick that we have over here, this bearish one here in the middle, that tapped in towards that supply zone, and that should have pushed the market down lower. However, we can see we got a structural shift here on the weekly, and we broke the fractal high. So for myself now, this indicates to me that the market should be ready to see one more push up above that liquidity high, at least in towards 0.5 here on the weekly, and then we could look for sells once again. That is my personal opinion from a weekly perspective. Then if I look at the daily, we can follow the daily fractal structure, right? So here on the daily time frame, when we look at the fractal structure, we can very clearly see that we have a fractal break. Here we have a second fractal break. Here we have a third fractal break, and this is currently your daily demand zone that is in control. As simple as that. So the fractal structure here on the daily time frame is in control, and I'm now looking for that further upside to trade in line with the weekly. However, what is important is two things, and that is the fact that we need the fractal low on the daily to be respected. So that is this low over here of this bullish doji candle that I just explained. So this low needs to be respected, and second of all, we need lower time frame confirmation, because what I shared today inside Discord, guys, is that we have supply still in control. If you look at the 4 hour time frame, and my screen currently is lagging a bit, so I hope the stream is currently still working for you guys. If not, just give me a shout, but the screen should work in a second. Let's see if it works. Let me just check my mobile phone. I don't know why it's not working. Yeah. Okay, so finally it starts working again. So what we have here, and again guys, don't forget to leave a like on the stream, it's always just so much appreciated. So what we have now here on the 4-hour time frame is the need for that lower time frame confirmation. So how do we understand that we have lower time frame confirmation? Well, we see a market structure shift. So what I have here on the 4-hour is very clearly, as we can see, supply, which is untouched, so we don't tap back into that. But then again, here we have supply, and that supply zone is currently in control, because we can very clearly see we have the push up and then boom, break down, retracement, push down, retracement, and then we saw an early push down again. But now what I'm waiting for is for a structural high to get broken. So what is then your structural high? That is the high of this area of supply. So now what I'm waiting for is for that to get broken, and we now need to see this push up, retracement, and then we'll be looking for the next push up. And then what is going to be your demand zone? This over here. Then we have a 4-hour demand zone inside of that daily demand zone, and that is the trade that I'm going to be executing with a little bit of a wider stop loss like this. I will be trading around a 1 to 2.5 risk to reward back up in towards that high. So that's currently what I have here on Euro USD myself, waiting for that structural shift to happen to confirm that the bulls want to push Euro USD up higher, and that will then confirm that that daily demand zone and that daily fractal structure is ready to push the market up higher. What do you guys think of that, guys? Does everybody agree or not? What are your opinions? Because please feel free to disagree with me. I'm only happy when people disagree with me, because it just gives me a different perspective and helps me gain a different view on the charts. But this is my personal opinion on Euro USD. For the rest, I am not really interested in looking for shorts on EU just yet. Personally, yeah, just doesn't make enough sense for myself. I do not personally have enough confluences for that. But yeah, that's what I'm looking for on Euro USD. If it happens, it happens. If it does not, we'll just continue looking for that further downside on Euro Dollar. Another pair I just want to share with you guys also with a trade that I'm looking at is AUD USD. So AUD USD, what we have on the daily, and again guys, sorry for a little bit of the lag here on the screen. I guess South American Wi-Fi might not just be the best. But what we have here on the daily, Luke, let me know what you're looking for on the lower time frame. Curious to hear what you're looking for the lower time frame. So I'll go back to EU in a second, but I just want to share AU last of all, guys, because I also am a big fan of AU for a potential further upside push. What I personally see here on AUD USD is that we have gotten this. So first of all, we have an area of consolidation. So this I just see as a big range where the market's just moving sideways. Then what happens is that, as you can see over here, we have equal highs. The market liquidates the equal highs and then it starts pushing down. Now on the weekly here on AU, how could you understand that the market was ready to push down after grabbing that liquidity above that overall swing high? Well, at the time I went into the daily and I checked out this. I looked for something called, again guys, you know it all, but the change of character. So what we had back then was this over here as a change of character high. Then what was the change of character low? The low of the bullish candle. So as soon as we saw that change of character in towards the downside, and again guys, the reason I was looking for a short here was because you could see push up, retracement, push up. So this was another fractal break. So you get like the push up, retracement, push up, retracement, push up, boom, push down. And then you saw retracement, boom, push down, retracement. So you could see the market was so bearish over here that every single time we just respected the fractal structure. You had like a supply chain going on over here where you just push down. Look, so here on the 4-hour you have like a buy up before the sell, that becomes your supply. Here again you have a buy up before the sell, that becomes your supply, and then you see some manipulation happen at this point in time due to news. But you can see that for a large part the market was playing out very beautifully, and we could just follow the overall fractal structure, and there were a lot of like 1 to 3s or 1 to 2s to be able to be gained over there. Even this 1 to 3 eventually played out very obviously if you just use this as a swing position. Guys, please do not spam the chat, there's really no need to do so. So please guys, don't use any foul language. But looking here at Aussie dollar, that's how we understood that the market was just ready to continue down lower. We're just following the daily fractal structure. So I just hit my knee very bad, but what I do is I just look at that fractal structure. So now I'm doing the exact same the other way around. Again, we have a very heavily overextended move in towards the downside here on AU. You can see we got an overall push in towards the downside of around 11 to 12%. And now what I'm looking for is a retracement back in towards the highs. Now all we can do is we can just do this, Okay, this is the fib retracement, and then we can say, okay, we want to at least see that 0.5 fib get hit again, which is also, if you look at the weekly time frame, guys, if you look at the weekly time frame, that is also pretty much like the range, right? We can just extend this to the left, and then what I'm just looking at is pretty much this. Okay, so I'm just looking at pretty much this. You could even do it like this, but I'm looking at pretty much this, and this is like the range that we're currently in. Okay, so you can see the market is just consolidating inside of this box, and what I'm now looking to do and achieve is trade that retracement back in towards the highs. Okay, so after swiping that weekly low, now what do I see here on the daily time frame? Let me just zoom out a little bit for you guys again. In the meantime, if anybody hears anything interesting from the ECB press conference, please let me know. But what we then see is here, we see the low break, then here we see the high break, and then obviously this is now your daily fractal low that is in control. This is now your daily fractal high. So personally, I'm now happy to look for a potential long. Yes, we might not have like a fresh area of demand over here. Why is this not fresh? Because we already tapped into it over here with that wick. But I'm still happy to look for a long because we have equal lows on that wick which wicked in. So preferably what I would like to see from AU is one more push down, and then we get like the change of character and we start trading AU back up higher, because we can now see that we have like this little supply chain in towards the downside, right? The buy before the sell every single time is in control. Now also the buy before the sell here is in control. So now I'm just waiting for that order flow to be broken and for us to pretty much just get this in towards the upside retracement and then continue up higher. But preferably the ideal setup is obviously swiping kind of like these two equal lows that we have over here, and then looking for that long position. So for myself, the setup that I have here now on AU, guys, the setup that I have here on AU is this over here, where I just take the entire swing, because you can also take this swing over here, and then you see you already made a very nice and sizable retracement, but I'm just taking it with a little bit of a bigger stop loss, and I have my entry pretty much underneath the liquidity, and I place my stop loss very safely underneath this overall swing low. And this is a very strong low. Why is this a strong low, guys? Because it liquidated the range low over here. It liquidated the range low. This weekly candle also does not have a top wick, so now I'm just looking for that next leg up after seeing a sizable retracement, and looking to see if we can get that next leg up. Okay, so this is what I have for AU, looking to enter kind of like on that internal liquidity over there, and yeah, trade this with like a swing position back up higher. Yeah, also based on what I just explained from the weekly perspective, where I want to trade it back up to the middle of the range. So what do you guys think of that? Obviously, like, it's a little bit of a riskier setup because you're trading against, let's say, the trend. The swing trend is obviously bearish, but it is a pullback trade, right? Because we're trading after the daily break of structure. After this break of structure, we have not yet seen any sizable retracement. This was just some news manipulation. This, yeah, you could consider this maybe some form of a consolidation slash retracement, but then still there is still room for it to push up higher. There are no clean areas of supply here as well. So that's what I have for AUD USD, guys. What is your personal opinion? Inverted inverted head and shoulders, maybe you mean this. So now we just need this. But let's see. That's what I have for AUD USD. Let me know what your guys' opinion is on that. In the meantime, let's have a look. Has Euro USD already moved? EU is flying. Okay, fantastic, guys. This is good. Okay, so this is pretty much what we've wanted to see. This is very, very nice indeed. This is very, very nice. Fantastic news. Okay, guys, so look, EU is flying. So this is pretty much what we needed to see. All the euro pairs are flying. What's your, oh yeah, so all the euro pairs are flying. Okay, fantastic. So now what I need to see, I have my phone here in the way. It's 1 minute 33 indeed until the next candle close. So now what we could look at, obviously after seeing the 4-hour fractal break, is indeed the next retracement and then the next leg up higher. Okay, so that's now pretty much the setup that I'm personally interested in here on EU. I'll be looking to see lower time frame confirmation coming back into that 4-hour zone, just to make sure that this is not just a news candle. The thing is that I have with these news candles is that there's no kind of like liquidity in the push up. But what I'm now looking to see is indeed, okay, the strong 4-hour candle close. Then we'll just look for the sizable retracement, and then we'll just trade the 15-minute up higher. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Well, what we'll do is we'll look for the 15-minute order flow. So what I want to see is, for example, the same as we have over here. So let's say this is the move that we're currently seeing. You get the push up, then I want to see a sizable retracement back down in towards that 4-hour demand zone, and then I want to see a shift in momentum. So here we have like a little downtrend in towards the lows, and then we break up higher, and then what I want to do is I want to place like a buy stop on that 50-minute high. So that's what I'm going to try and do here with EU. So let's wait for that 4-hour candle close, and yeah, let's trade that up higher if we're allowed to. But yeah, this is a nice candlestick, guys, to see. This is very nice. So good to see. And now I agree. Okay, now Luke agrees. Good. Okay, so yeah, this is pretty much the setup that I'm now looking at here on EU to achieve. So this is a very nice 4-hour candle close. Let's see what the other dollar pairs are doing. What is AU doing? Okay, AU is moving slightly because is the dollar now also pushing down? Yeah, look. So look, guys, this is what I mentioned. So now the dollar index is pushing down lower. Let's see. Yeah, so the dollar index is nice. Okay, this is good. This is real good. Same with GU. Yeah, so look, the dollar is pushing down lower, exactly as we mentioned at the beginning of the stream. This is why, guys, the lower time frame, I don't focus too much on it, but all we want to see is here this daily supply zone indeed play out, and that is now happening. So good to see that the dollar is pushing down. So let's see EU, GU, and everything push up higher. Yeah, I was going to sell. Yeah, no. So I'm happy, guys. I'm happy. Technical analysis is playing out so far, and we can see the daily fractal structure is holding, guys. This is great news. This is great news for EU. This is great news for EU. Let's see. Will it not retrace? That would also be something, man. Is closing important above? Yeah, no, this is looking good. I'm currently struggling with SMC. Can you please guide me a bit? Yeah, you can just join the Discord. The link is pinned here in the chat. Join there. There's a free kind of education library where you can check everything out, and there's a lot of information there that will help you. But yeah, this is pretty much the setup that I'm now looking at on GU. Happy that I waited, but overall, look, so GU now, guys. GU, the thing is with GU, look, I know a lot of you are looking at GU shorts. I am personally just not a fan of it. I'm going to be very honest with you. The reason being is because GU will follow EU most of the times, right? This entire leg in towards the downside, GU has been following EU, and now you're seeing EU push up. You're also seeing pound dollar fly up, right? So I understand a lot of you are looking at this as the fractal high. This is the fractal low. We obviously make a nice retracement all the way back up into premium above that 0.7 fib, and now if you go into the 4-hour, yes, you kind of see see this open supply, and if you go to the 1-hour, you now see that we grab liquidity above this high. Personally, it's just not for me. If you would want to look for GU shorts now, like previously, this was like the 4-hour supply zone, but then again, I was not looking for shorts in there because EU was just too bullish from the daily fractal perspective. And now you can see GU doesn't respect that 4-hour fractal structure because EU is the boss, okay? That's all you need to understand. Like, you could have sold this over here, like with 50-minute confirmation. I'm pretty sure there was some form of 50-minute setups. Obviously, you can make money on this as you would, for example, say like this is a supply zone and then you short on that supply zone. But you need to understand, like, for a longer term trade, and I know a lot of you want to kind of like have a bias, you need to understand that GU, yes, it might now be in supply. Now what you need to look at is this 4-hour fractal low. Maybe if it breaks that low, then you could look for shorts again. But as long as EU has bullish daily fractal structure, shorting GU, shorting AU, shorting NU is very, very risky, okay? Let's see. EU retracing. Guys, by the way, this is good news pretty much for crypto. Okay, so look, what I'm now going to do with EU, guys, is I'm going to wait. So I'm not going to limit this like this, okay? I need you to understand that. I'm not going to limit this. What I now want to see is I want to see that the bulls are really in control. Because look, we had a fresh area of 4-hour supply here, right? Which we're now reacting to. So now what I want to see is I want to see how strong is the demand zone that we just created, that we drew out at the beginning of the stream. How strong is that demand zone actually going to be? So now what I'm looking for is just the lower time frame confirmation to confirm that that demand zone is valid. This is why I always like I don't want to say, or this is how I have improved my win rate. Let me just put it that way. Because again, remember, there's no liquidity in the push up. We still have equal lows underneath here. So to confirm, like these are equal lows. This is the demand zone, like the refined demand zone, but there's no liquidity in the push up. So we need kind of like this as a demand zone. Then we need like the initial reaction. We need to push up. Then we need like liquidation again. And then we need the change of character over here. And then I'll be happy to go for a long, because then we create a nice demand zone over here. And then I'll just enter like this, okay? So this is what I'm now looking for. But we need that to happen, because otherwise, for the two reasons that I just mentioned, both the equal lows and there not being any liquidity in the push itself, that makes it very risky to now just limit it on the 4 hour, and why I'm personally not doing it just yet. Yeah, that's what I am doing. But we can see now, did we react to it? Yeah, so we already reacted to it. Man, I have too many lines nowadays on my chart, man. But but what we can see here now is indeed that we've tapped into it. So now let's see what the reaction is. Let's wait for that lower time frame confirmation inside of here. Obviously, this is like your refined demand zone. But yeah, we have now demand fighting against supply, and now we just want to confirm that demand is actually in control by seeing like the lower time frame reaction, and then yeah, then we'll be happy to go long. So that's let's wait for that. What's your win rate in your back tests and your live trades? So on back testing, my win rate is a little bit higher. I would say my win rate is around 60%, but then on live trading, my win rate is at around 45 to 55%. That's what I'm looking at. What else, guys? So what else? What are the other pairs that are looking interesting? Obviously, Euro USD is looking interesting. I hope it provides us with a nice setup. That's what I need, or what I want to see. I want to see a nice setup so that everybody can make some profits today or this week. But yeah, you guys know what we're looking for, so let's see if that happens. In the meantime, let me know what you want to look for. More ECB Lagarde, we are still in restrictive territory, so we have not discussed when to stop cutting rates. Okay, that's not too good for the euro, because we don't want them to keep on cutting rates, guys. Because when they cut rates, that is bad for the currency. Thomas was saying long on Euro Swiss on Discord. Let's have a look at Euro Swiss, and please guys, don't just say the pair, but also say like what you're looking at. Like, are you looking for a long? Are you looking for a short? Because otherwise I have no clue what you personally are looking at for these pairs. Okay, so let's have a look here. So indeed, let's see. Euro Swiss, I'm not even gonna look at this, man. This is the ugliest. Guys, Euro Swiss is literally the definition of hideous, ugly 1 out of 10, man. Like, look at this daily time frame, guys. Like, it's just consolidating. I'm not even gonna look at this. Gold, I know a lot of you are massive gold fans. Gold, did it already hit all-time high? Yes, it should hit all-time high. At the moment, we have gotten the lower time frame and the bulls in control. Yeah, I'm not shorting gold, only longs on gold for now. So yeah, that's all I can say. I don't really see a setup on this at the moment, but gold longs into all-time high, that makes sense. What do you want to know about gold, Jesse? Farouk, entry for Euro USD is still tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, let's wait for it to develop. I think indeed the best ideal entry will be tomorrow London session on EU. Don't have FOMO now, because again, we can always enter on the lower time frame. Let's wait for it to develop. Again, we still have this open demand zone. Let's wait for it to come in, maybe consolidate a bit, build some Asian liquidity underneath the lows, liquidate, boom, 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 you know, something like this. That would be nice. Or else it could just start dropping and just take out the lows, obviously. So let's wait to confirm that that demand zone is actually valid. So now we just need to have patience, and then we can all together execute euro dollar tomorrow if we see the potential setup play out. What do you think about gold? Would it go down to 27.20? No, I'm not really going to be shorting gold. I know there was like a lower time frame gold setup yesterday where you could short it. There was potential for gold shorts on the daily change of character. There was a daily change of character yesterday where we saw this happen, where we got like the high break over here and then we got the low break over here. So that's what happened yesterday. Then we had this area of supply over here. So if I just press the replay tool, look, so this is what we had on gold, guys. So we had a daily change of character over here, and we had pretty much like this liquidity high, this internal liquidity high over here grabbed. So we grabbed liquidity, we're kind of like at all-time high resistance, so we could see another drop off. So I was looking at that daily supply zone, then I went into the 4 hour, and then I had on the 4 hour this as my supply zone over here, this buy before the sell again. Okay, that's all you need to know. So I was looking for a short in there, then we saw the market retrace. It was a little bit slow. You can see it come back up in towards that area of supply. Let's see if the chart loads in. TradingView is glitching as of recently a lot for myself. Not sure if you guys are experiencing the same. I mainly have these issues with TradingView where the clock doesn't work, the alerts don't work. That's the main issue that I have with TradingView at the moment. But let me just break down the setup for you here straight away. Look, so on gold yesterday, I was personally looking at this where we have like the high breaks and then we have the low breaks over here. And then we had a supply zone formed here on the buy before the sell. Then we had another supply zone formed over here as well on the buy before the sell. So we're like some short-term shorts on the lower time frame, especially if you look at the 15-minute. This is how you can trade, guys. This is how you can trade the 15-minute time frame. And there were some sells to be taken, but then obviously the higher time frame trend, guys, will always prevail. The daily time frame is what eventually pushed gold up higher, as you can see here. Obviously the daily was in an uptrend. Overall, from a swing perspective, that's why like one fractal structure doesn't make a pair bearish. So always look at the swing structure as well. But yeah, TradingView being so buggy. I used to use the browser version of TradingView, man, but now I just use the desktop, like the app, you know, like the Mac app. Like the downloadable version of TradingView instead of just using the web browser. But still, it's like very unreliable, man. Very unreliable. But let's see. Euro USD. In the meantime, anything happening? It's just retracing, as we can see, in towards the downside. Let's wait for it to cool down a bit and then we'll get in on that. In the meantime, AUD USD, is it going to go for the lows? Not yet. Still needs a lot of development. Man, there's so little volume on these pairs. We can just see the market just consolidating, man. It's absolutely crazy. It's just no volume this week. It's a very slow week already since Monday. Obviously since Monday we saw some drop off, but then it's just consolidating and not really moving. I'm waiting for it, man. NZD Swiss shorts on 0.51090. Let's have a look. Okay, so we're consolidating here on the 1 hour. Let's have a look at the daily. Yeah, this is pretty nice for NZD Swiss in regards to the fact that we have a supply zone and then we see a change of character in towards the downside. So here we have a high break, here we have a low break, and then what happens, this indeed is now the supply zone that is in control from a fractal structure perspective. We have very corrective ascending price action here in towards the upside. So it would make sense to look for a short position on this. Now it's just consolidating. We have gotten equal lows. Yeah, so we have the equal lows open, right? So we have liquidity underneath the equal lows. Maybe some form of like a higher retracement would be nice. Still some open supply zones. And then just wait for like structural shift in towards the downside again. Those are the 1 hour, the 15-minute setups. I know a lot of you have been asking for those, but yeah, this is like what you want to see. You want to see like a big push up, and then you want to see the push back down to take out all of these equal lows. Yeah, Bob, personally, I'm not a big fan of GU shorts myself. I understand where you're coming from, but personally, I do not yet think it is valid. I still have this internal trend as bullish here on GU, where we're still pushing up higher. Yeah, we're still pushing up higher. If we break this black line here, that is when I'll be happy to look for shorts once again, get in on the retracement, and then look for those further short positions. But for now, like the lower time frame, still in an uptrend. The daily fractal structure internally as well, also still trending upwards. So just not a lot of confirmation in my opinion for GU shorts just yet. Also with the fact that euro dollar is still bullish on the daily fractal structure, makes those GU shorts just a little bit of a lower probability. So yeah, I mean, I would definitely wait with that. GU shorts could happen if the daily fractal goes on EU. That is then when I'm going to be happy for those short positions. Thanks, Jerembo. Means a lot that you were tuning in, man. Euro yen, oof, Euro yen was such a nice short this week, guys. Oh man, oh man, oh man. There was one legend who was able to really milk this position out, and that was Mitchell. Guys, again, if you're not inside Discord, you are really genuinely missing out. You have to join the Discord. It is pinned here in the chat. It is free, and the whole team is there to help. Remember what we mentioned at the beginning of the week on Tuesday about those shorts. Guys, who was in the stream on Tuesday? Let me know, because Euro yen shorts and dollar yen shorts have actually played out absolutely beautiful. Look, so what I always do when the market is consolidating, especially like this on Euro yen, is that I look at the 75% mark and I look at the 25% mark. You can see 25 is naturally an area of support, 75 is naturally an area of resistance. Again, this is no hidden secret, guys. This is literally pure logic. You can copy my settings here of the fib. It's just 0.75, 0.25 and the 1. And remember what I mentioned on Tuesday is that we are at the 75% mark. So again, expecting resistance. Guys, remember what we discussed about Euro yen. Here we had a daily fractal structural shift. So we came up, we saw a push down, we saw a push up, and then we saw a push down. Then we saw a retracement. This was literally on Tuesday that we saw that retracement in towards that area of supply, guys. In towards that area of supply over here. Then I went in towards the 4-hour time frame. I don't want to take credit for this one. I know a lot of you traded this yourselves, and mainly Mitchell was the one inside Discord who called this position. But look, we had that daily supply. Inside daily supply, we have 4-hour supply. So this is how you take the lower time frame setups. Again, a lot of you have been asking how to trade the 15 and the 1 hour. Look, what you do is you get that daily supply zone. You look for a 4-hour supply zone inside that daily supply zone. Then what we have here is a tap in towards that 4-hour supply zone. This was literally Tuesday morning. And then Tuesday afternoon, there were still positions able to be taken on Euro yen. You can see we retrace into daily and 4-hour supply. Then you go in towards the 1 hour. And then on the 1 hour time frame, what is happening? We had equal lows still open. Man, this was such a nice position. We mentioned it on the stream. Again, look, what we then have here is the 1 hour change of character as soon as we tap in towards that supply zone. I mentioned this on the shorts as always, guys. Look, tap in, push down, push up, and then look, that's this over here. This over here is this over here. A structural shift in towards the downside. At that point in time, you form an area of supply. And then, yeah, I mean, you tap in that supply zone and then from there you sell off. And then again, there was another entry possibility because overall we retraced in towards that overall 1 hour supply zone. This here was the initial reaction. If you're not happy with the initial reaction, always wait for it to get liquidated. We came back up higher again during Asia. We liquidate the high and then from there we start selling off again. Absolute madness and beautiful scenes on Euro yen, man. Yeah, Euro yen has been very, very good, guys, recently. Very, very good. And then Euro yen is obviously the same as dollar yen. Dollar yen shorts were also very nice, have been playing out beautifully. I still have the analysis here on the charts. You can see, I think I even mentioned this on the stories on Instagram where we have this kind of like as a supply zone. Again, you see the exact same as on Euro yen. You get the initial reaction. The initial sellers get in with their stop loss above the highs, like on this bearish confirmation candle, stop loss above the high. They get stopped out by the pip and then the real drop in towards the downside occurs. Again, this is why we don't get FOMO, guys, and what I'm waiting for on Euro USD to happen, but then inverse, okay? I want this to happen inverse on Euro USD. Instead of looking for the short, we need to look for the long. But I need this kind of structure to happen on Euro USD, where we get that initial reaction and then we get the 4 hour or the 1 hour or the 50-minute change of character, the structural shift inside, and then we look for that short position. And then again, you can see here, no FOMO on the initial reaction. We get that push down, we come back in into that buy before the sell as a supply zone, and then from there we see the entire push in towards the downside. Absolute beautiful scenes. Now again, if you're asking me, Fabio, can I still look for that short on dollar yen? I'm gonna say, man, where have you been? Where were you on Tuesday? Where were you at the beginning of the week? That is when the play out or the setup actually played out, guys. And now you're way too late. Obviously the pip, the 150 pip move down has already occurred. So yeah, it doesn't make sense to get into this position anymore. Dollar yen has played out. It played out beautifully. And if you were in it, congratulations to you. Yeah, you really did amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. I get a lot of questions about the chart colors, guys. This is the background color, and for the symbols, this is my green, this is my red, and then the borders and the wicks are black. As simple as that. Guys, in the meantime, don't forget to leave a like on the stream. At least 300 likes are needed. At least 300 likes are needed. But yeah, dollar yen, a very, very nice setup. Played out to beauty or to perfection. And now for the rest, let's wait for Euro USD, guys. Let's wait for Euro USD. Because otherwise, again, like I mentioned, we can just start taking out those equal lows. So we need to wait for the confirmation inside of there. Euro GBP has been moving down, but probably with the news now, it saw a push up. It's pushing back down again. Euro GBP was an absolute beautiful pair for or throughout the entire week. Remember what we discussed, I think, as well on the stream, where you could have just entered on, and let me just remove this initial position, but where you could have entered here on Tuesday. We literally discussed this position. You could have been up at its peak around, what was it, like close to 1%, around a 30 pip drop only, but Euro GBP doesn't really move that much, obviously, in pip or pip wise. But for now, Euro GBP still makes sense to start selling off. But yeah, you can see we kind of reached this overall low here, so not ideal. You preferably would have wanted to be in at the top after what? After grabbing weekly liquidity. And this is again what we mentioned. Look, this is like your weekly high. This is like swing high, swing low. We take out all of the equal highs over here, and then we go into the lower time frame and we look. Guys, I'm in the middle of the biggest city in the world. That's the background music. They're building a building here across the street. Sorry about the background music or background noise. But look, you come up, remember what I mentioned on Tuesday. If you do not watch the stream back, we have an overextended move. We have corrective ascending price action. Corrective ascending price action is always a sign that we're going to sell off. And then, yeah, I mean, obviously, we get the change of character there, excuse me, on the 4-hour time frame. And then, yeah, from there, we start selling off. Euro GBP is also bearish fractal wise now. So I am only interested in further downside from this thing. Yeah. So I'm only interested in further downside. So I'll be looking to get in on additional short positions on Euro GBP, yeah, to mirror the entire move in towards the downside. So that's from myself, what I'm still looking at on Euro GBP. What else? USD Swiss as well. Let's have a look at that. USD Swiss as well. Yeah, USD Swiss is a little bit less ideal at the moment, I would say. We still have this area of supply open. That is where I'm going to be looking for a short from myself. For now, we still have all of these equal highs open. I would preferably want to see those get taken out. We also had this fake area of supply here. Remember what we also, yeah, I think we also mentioned this on Tuesday. We talked about a lot on Tuesday, but we had this area of supply here on USD Swiss. There's no liquidity in the overall push down. Therefore, you can see like the initial sellers get in, and then they place their stop loss above the highs, and then they get stopped out. So what I'm now looking at is to see a shift in market structure. So look, now we have push up, push down, push up, push down, and now I'm just waiting for another push up, take out the equal highs, tap into that supply, and then see an order flow shift again, because now demand is in control here. Yeah, so demand is now, this is demand that is in control. Yes, I mean, if we break the low here, you could look for a short. The only thing is that you leave these equal highs behind. So that's not ideal. So I would love to see one more push up on USD Swiss, take out the equal highs, and then look for the real short in towards the downside. Yeah, that is what I've been looking at on USD Swiss and what I want to see. For the rest, let's wait. Euro USD still inside. It did tap. Yeah, I think it did. Look at this. It tapped that sell before the buy candle with the absolute wick. I think they're building some bloody holes in the ground. I hope the background music is not too loud. But we've now tapped in towards that demand zone on Euro USD. So guys, now again, what I am looking for here is the 15-minute setup, okay? I'm looking for that 15-minute setup to confirm that Euro USD wants to head up higher, and then what I'll do is I'll place my stop loss underneath the 4-hour demand zone, okay? That is what I'm going to be looking for. This is the setup that I'm going to be entering then like this. I'm going to be swinging it up a little bit higher, okay? So that's what I'm now waiting for on Euro USD, waiting for that setup on AUD USD as well. Preferably one more push down. It would just be such a blessing if we get it. But then obviously if we break above the 4-hour fractal structure and we break that overall 4-hour supply chain, then yeah, we could also already look for those longs as well. Just would be a little bit lower probability that we leave the equal lows open. But then again, what I'll do with Aussie dollar, if that 4-hour fractal break happens, what I'll just do is that I'll just place my stop loss underneath this daily low. So it's protected anyway, so that if it does go for that liquidity, I'm still going to be in it. But then, yeah, obviously with my safe stop loss. So yeah, that's it. I know a lot of you are looking at US 30 as well. We'll do that last of all for you as well. US 30 is literally at its all-time high here again. About to take out that all-time high. So for US 30, I mean, longs are the only thing. Obviously, we saw a massive sell-off here on Monday. So what was the reason of the sell-off? Again, I won't go too much into the technicals, but the main reason for the sell-off in towards the downside was Nvidia. So what happened with Nvidia is that there was a different company called DeepSeek. DeepSeek is like a competitor of OpenAI. So if you know ChatGPT is of OpenAI. So what happens is that DeepSeek came out claiming that their product was 95% cheaper than that of OpenAI and only 1% less good. So this caused massive turbulence within the markets, and then they additionally also made a claim that they had over 50,000 Nvidia chips, which are required for the computing power of all of those AI machines. Now, what you need to understand as well is the fact that there are sanctions against China for the export of all of those chips. So those chips weren't even allowed to be in the hands of DeepSeek in China, because DeepSeek is a Chinese company. So the US was like, whoa, like how in the name of blah, 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 did they get all of those chips? So that was also something very interesting that happened. That caused like major turbulence within the markets, and that caused Nvidia to sell off. And then the sell-off of Nvidia caused obviously US 30 and the entire stock market to push down as well. However, there's already been news of, let's say the market rebounding against, I'm not going to go into all the details, but good news for the stock market. Let me just put it that way. So now what I'm looking at is simply just the overall order flow to continue. This here is now your demand zone, where there was a lot of demand within the market. So I'm now looking to just see upside continuation from that demand zone. So now just look at the lower time frame, look at the 4 hour. So for example, here on the 4 hour time frame, we have, man, I'm not using a mouse, guys, here in Brazil, so that's always a little bit tricky. I don't know if any of you use those trackpad on a laptop, but it's an absolute nightmare. We have equal lows open here, so I would like to get those equal lows taken out, and then what I'll look for is for a structural shift and for demand to be created somewhere inside of here. So obviously we have a lot of 15-minute demand zones, for example, this over here. We even have like whatever, this over here. So we're going to be looking for some of those demand zones then to provide us with a setup. Again, guys, this is the key to supply and demand trading and profitably trading supply and demand. You need to wait for the confirmation inside of your zone. So just wait for the low to get swept, and then just look for like the structural shift and for new demand zones to be created, and then we long on those demand zones. So this kind of means that you have like a double demand zone. You not only have this demand zone, so we're not just randomly buying from a demand zone, but you're waiting for a double demand zone to be created, like I just drew out. And that's exactly what we're waiting now for on Euro USD. I'm waiting for a double demand zone to be created. I want us to tap into daily, into towards 4 hour, and then also create 15-minute demand, because then you have the highest probability of your trade playing out, because then you have this demand zone. This is demands on 15-minute, then you have demands on 4 hour, and you have demands on daily, and you have demands on weekly, making it the best and highest probability demand zone trade that there is. Because when you stack demand zones and have a weekly inside a daily, or like you have a 1 hour inside a 4 hour within a daily, within a weekly, that is when you have the highest probability trades, because you're stacking demand zones. So don't ever try to just simply trade off one single demand zone. Always try to look for a demand zone in a demand zone in a demand zone in a demand zone, because that's going to be a stronger demand zone. It works with everything the same way in life. If you I'm thinking of some kind of like saying. In Dutch we say, or in English it's a metaphor, or in Dutch it's called a spreekwoord. It's like, I'm not even going to try my best, because I know you guys are just going to think what this guy's saying. So regardless, whatever, thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I'm going to be active back in the Discord, so I'm going to be sharing setups there. I'll let you know if I enter Euro USD or, well, you guys know when I'm going to be entering AUD USD. So just waiting for that setup to play out on AUD USD. Euro USD, I'm waiting for a little bit more confirmation, just because of the fact that we're that high up in the leg here on the daily. So yeah, waiting for that. But obviously, if EU was trading down over here, I would just enter here with my stop loss underneath this strong low. But it's trading all the way up here, so I can't place my stop loss over here, you know. But on AU, obviously, I can place my stop loss underneath that strong low, which is a strong low because of the fact that it took out weekly liquidity. So this is the setup that I have for AUD USD. This is my A+ setup for this week. Obviously also looking at EU longs, but it needs to play out. We need to see the confirmation, and that is when we're going to be buying. Okay, guys, thank you so much for tuning in once again. Wish you all a fantastic trading day. Thank you so much. It means the world that you show up here. Next live stream is going to be on Tuesday, so make sure to be there again. Every Tuesday and every Thursday we do these live streams. New York Open, you know how it goes. On Wednesday as well, we're live inside Discord. Rutger is there. Today we even have a live session with Oscar, who is one of the best traders that we have inside the community. So if you want more of these live sessions, make sure to join Discord. I mean, the team is active there. Ask questions, tag the team, and just be active, because then we have the best community in the entire trading space. And I'm so grateful that you're part of that. So again, thank you so much for tuning in. Wish you all a fantastic day, and a lot of love, happiness, and peace to you. And have an amazing evening, morning, afternoon, whatever it is. Okay? Have a nice dinner, lunch, breakfast, whatever it is. I'm here as always inside Discord active. So make sure to tag me and I'll help out there. Thanks.